What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, something that I'm watching that I thought I would call out here in this video are Riftwatcher packs. Now, Riftwatchers has a ton of very meta cards, and I think what's going to happen, or at least what has been happening since November, when that proposal to switch Riftwatchers over to DEC failed, is that people have just been waiting for that proposal to come out again. I mean, even a couple of months ago, it might have been January, but you know, Aggie even posted on the map chat a little poll, right, unofficial poll, just to see if people would be in favor of it or not. And it seems like people were still very divided about it at the time. So since November, it obviously failed, but I think people have been waiting for the potential proposal to come in and for there to be a discount that would happen if it was switched over to DEC. But what's been happening with DEC, especially with all of the land announcements and with people starting to hoard or accumulate DEC, is the fact that DEC is getting much closer to peg, right? We're at 8,200 or 823 Splintoshis right now. So the discount for this, or for Riftwatcher packs, is only like what, 18% versus where it was, which would have been like anywhere from 40 to 50%. And the argument at the time was that, you know, if they sold it for DEC back in November, December, that would have gotten us back to peg immediately. Again, I don't know that I would have bought the argument because it all depends on demand. It all depends on where the market is. And then, of course, there's just a lot of market manipulation that happens with DEC, with a lot of people probably wanting that to happen so that they could sell. They'd bought DEC for half of its peg value and then would have sold it once it got close to peg. So in this way, I think we've started over the last 4 or 5 months, we have been burning and accumulating DEC in a way that has been much more organic. So again, will there be manipulation? Yes, but there's also an incredible amount of upcoming use cases for DEC. So even if these whales are holding it right now and want to dump, the percentage gains wouldn't be as high. Plus, there will be demand for it in the very near future. These sinks are going to be very real, as a lot of other whales, right? We'll talk about land whales rather than DEC whales, are going to come in and want to start working their land. And you don't even need to be a land whale. You can just be, the community whale, in a sense, where for someone like me with 3 plots and for other folks around who have, you know, just a couple plots here and there, the collective mindset is going to be to go in and get more DEC to work our land, right? So ultimately what this means then is Riftwatcher packs may start to move more regularly. I think things really slowed down there at the end of the year, at the end of 2022, and then early or beginning of this year. But we've started to see things slowly pick up. Obviously, we got the Ancient Redwood airdrop once we crossed 1 million. We've seen 3,500 packs sell, which again isn't a huge amount. And granted, there's a lot of different assets that are dropping for Splinterlands that people need to be, or people are wanting to accumulate, right? So they want DEC for land, they want cards for land. There's the Ruse airdrop that just happened, or Ruse promo card. There's potentially another promo card that's coming down the pipeline. So, you know, people aren't necessarily rushing to Riftwatchers, but at the same time, those who have been waiting or holding off for a potential discount with a proposal that would change it once again to DEC, again, that would need to pass, of course, Riftwatchers priced in DEC. That, to me, it's becoming less and less of an incentive. So I think there are people casually who are like, let me just go in and buy a pack now, right? I'm missing out on a potential 17%, 18% discount, but that's way less than a 40 to 50% discount. So you're starting to see a lot more casual purchases now. You're starting to see packs being opened slightly a little bit more. Again, Riftwatchers was just really quiet for a very long time. So as we get closer to peg, and I do think we're going to start getting closer and closer. Again, this is very organic in my opinion. We are burning it for market listing fees. We're burning it for we're burning it for DECB, and people are just hoarding and accumulating, especially if they know that they have a lot of land coming up. Oh, and you can also burn it for more energy now, right? That's going to be another burn case for DEC. Not to mention, guilds have always been there, and there's going to be upgrades to guilds over the next couple of months in this upcoming Age of the Minotaur. So I do think over the next couple months, we will see more and more Riftwatchers packs be purchased. Again, not major amounts. I'm not saying that people are just going to, moonboy into Riftwatcher packs, but as the discount starts to disappear, people will just look at that and say, oh, well, whether I buy it in SPS or whether I buy it in DEC doesn't really matter at this point. Let me just, if I bring in outside capital, it doesn't really matter what the price of SPS is. But The interesting thing also could be, and this is the flip side, separate, but also could be a contributing factor, is not just DEC going back to peg, but if SPS starts to rise a little bit. Keep in mind, from like the beginning of the year, or like the lows at the end of 2022, early 2023, we were at 2.5 cents. So going from 2.5 cents to 3 cents seems like a small amount, but if you had bought in at 2.5 cents or 2.4 cents, whatever it was, that's actually like a 20 to 25% gain on your capital. And so again, it's not going to be as clean as that. I don't know who was aping in at 2.5 cents with, thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, there might have been people, but the point is that a 20% gain is still significant. And if we can start to get that momentum where DEC feels constricted, right? We see the constriction on DEC, or the constriction on the supply of DEC, I should say, that people start to burn SPS or buy SPS in order to burn it for more, or people start to buy SPS to accumulate for the SPS staking requirements that will be coming up probably sometime this quarter, at least according to the Age of the Minotaur roadmap. That could be a contributing factor as well. So, again, I don't know that there's going to be any massive rush on Riftwatchers, but it is encouraging to see that people are starting to purchase more casually now. And I think the casual purchases will start to increase more over time as people want to roll the dice. Now, what does that mean for Riftwatcher card value? Well, one of the best things about Riftwatcher being gated in this way has actually been the fact that Riftwatcher cards, at least the meta ones, have held their value quite well. So if we just stay on this, kind of road of very casual purchases and packs being opened, there may never be a point where Riftwatchers feels oversaturated in the market and they hold their value well. Again, I'm not saying that will happen or it can't happen. I'm just saying that if casual purchases start continuing or continue or start increasing, people will keep the cards that they think are good. They'll sell the cards that they don't need anymore, and the market will find its new equilibrium. But I don't think it's going to tank prices the way that Chaos Legion did. And keep in mind, there's only 3 million packs, which is a lot, right? We've only opened 27% of the packs so far. So if 2 million packs for some reason were bought tomorrow and then dumped on the market, sure, prices would come down for a little bit as people went in and tried to make their money back. But I don't know if that will happen, because what we're experiencing right now in terms of the growth of the Splinterlands economy seems so organic, right? DEC is creeping up, SPS is creeping up, and unless Bitcoin goes to the moon because of all the macro stuff that's happening, I think we'll just see that incremental increases or those incremental increases over time, which will increase, again, the casual nature of purchasing Riftwatcher packs because it gets a little bit cheaper from an SPS standpoint, or people just feel like the discount is no longer there and they're like, well, there's no point in me waiting. I've been wanting a Coral Lurker for forever, so let me go and open up a couple packs or buy a couple packs and see what I get. So that's kind of my thesis. Obviously we're not even at the end of March yet, but I will be curious to see where things look at the end of April, at the end of May. Keep in mind that the quarter system that the team is using is not cleanly defined, but between the calendar years, right? Where March is the end of Q1, June is the end of Q2. Their Age of the Minotaur is going to end, I believe, on May 23rd. So it's actually almost a month or more than a month less, right, of time, because normally that would have been the end of June. So if all of the land phase 1.5 stuff does get implemented over the next couple of weeks and months, right, by the end of May, and keep in mind, I'm recording this on March 22nd, so that's exactly 2 months away. So if we start getting all of this stuff for land, people start using it, we start to see asset prices increase as the team is intending, or at least DEC going to peg. At the very least, DEC going to peg or close to peg. Because once it's above 900 Splintoshis, I think a lot of people are going to be like, I'm not going to wait for the Riftwatchers proposal anymore. I'm just going to go and buy pack, right? 10% discount. Why wait? I want my Coral Lurker now, especially if SPS continues to creep up and the rewards start to get better. Again, this could be a nice kind of virtuous cycle that isn't going to go crazy and shoot up to the moon, but as intended, it's going to creep up slowly over time as people start to level up their decks and people start to come in, right? Seeing the asset prices rise, and we get this nice organic growth. That is my hope, but obviously I'm tracking that kind of as a proxy by the Riftwatcher pack sale. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.